War is inevitable.
And the peasants rejoice. That's all I get.
You've made the right choice.
Where I had no idea how to work my keyboard.
Time of massive come!
They were rivaling objectives as Dignitas, and we were Dignitassing them by stealing them in front of their faces.
I'm a wizard!
You know that some people say that Thor is Mike Tyson after a workout?
Split push!
Victory is ours!
Savage as fuck.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to episode 66 of the Split Push Podcast. Time to get your kicks on here tonight, as we have with us Dirt Nap Dan.
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
Got my buddy Yuki.
What's up?
And king of them all, or is he just too small, the mighty Guy.
Well, you have to ask my wife.
And Beagle will soon be rejoining our ranks as Yuki has been kind enough to do some computer repairs for her, and it's in the mail.
Oh, I got some spoilers too. I got some spoilers too, because she's gonna. She'll not hear this before she gets the computer.
She won't hear it ever.
I know.
To be fair,
She'll never hear it.
Oh shit! Well, before we digress too much, along with us tonight is a very special guest. We're all fangirling a little bit right now,
Sweet.
as we have the SPL's number one team out there, rival. We got their solo laner with us tonight. It's Fineokay.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Glad to be on. Excited to chat a little bit with you guys. Have some fun.
Yeah, we're a little bit excited. Like I said, I've been just kind of like just trying to ease it back a little bit here, and get things started. But before we get to, dive into having some fun here, why don't we take the floor here a little bit, let everybody know who you are, where you came from, favorite uncles, stuff like that.
All right. So my name's Alec Fonzo, and I was born in Memphis, Tennessee, moved to Florida in high school. Been playing games pretty much my entire life. Have two brothers, and they kind of got me into gaming. So if I wasn't playing, I was watching them play, and that's kind of where my love for just watching and playing games in general comes from. Used to be a Call of Duty player, big Call of Duty kid, FPS player, and I think Smite's pretty FPS style, so I think that's where I got interested in it. And I've been playing Smite, I think, since Fenrir was released. Incoming.
Wait, Fenrir's been released?
Yeah. Okay. I've heard that too many times, but so I started when he was released, and so I think that was 6 years ago. And
it's debatable.
Yeah.
Two brothers, that's rough to get game time, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of times, it's older, so a lot of times I would just watch. So that's kind of why, I love watching streams, love watching YouTube videos of gaming, and I think there's a lot of people like that, and I think that's part of the reason gaming has become so big. It's when you're young, if you weren't playing, you were watching your brothers or your friends play, and you were enjoying it as well. So, yeah, I've been playing Smite for 6 years. Got into competitive about 4 years ago. There was a thing called a combine back then. It's a little bit different now. But back then it was, you would play in front of pro players or really high-end ranked players, and they would scout you out and recommend you to pro teams or minor league teams. And I played in that twice. I've played every single role in competitive. The main ones I've played are jungle and solo. And I've always just been a competitive dude, whether it be gaming or sports. I played a lot of sports when I was younger, soccer, stuff like that. So esports is a big passion of mine, and I love competing. So that's pretty much me.
Yeah, it's really fun to compete. Me and Dan kind of had that conversation the other day about competitive gaming and playing against other people.
I was telling him how, he was talking about how he was getting a piece of Zelda, a lamp, I think you said it was.
Yeah, Master Sword lamp.
Yeah, okay. And I was like, yeah, I played one Zelda game. I appreciated it, but I don't like solo player games because it's I don't know. I would more appreciate being able to go out into a community and figure things out and make friends and frenemies and whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't really like single player games. I've always been more of a multiplayer. But again, it's if you're playing split screen games with your brothers or your friends or stuff, like it's just gonna really start like that competitive nature in you. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah, I remember them
My
Golden
competitive
Eye in
nature.
64 days.
yeah, exactly.
My competitive nature runs the whole way back to Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart. Let's go.
Oh yeah, Mario Kart, that shit was fucking super competitive.
Yeah, and I'm not one to let my kids win just to let them win.
Oh,
I'm the
hell no.
asshole parent that will beat the shit out of them and make them beat me.
It feels bad when they start beating you though, right?
Wait, they start beating you at some point?
Oh, yeah, they do. I mean, they do. Ask her. Eventually, they start beating on you.
Let's go. Me and DN Dad solo lane 1v1.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord, me and Herc did it, but I beat him.
I'm so far out of solo lane. I haven't played that a lot. I've been playing support mainly. But talking about solo lane, Fineokay, I had the I want to say pleasure, but it was more like an honor to watch your games last week against Dignitas and the Pittsburgh Knights. And I would just say, dude, color me fucking impressed.
What color is that exactly?
I don't know.
Hopefully purple.
Yeah, I need an explanation.
I was thinking hopefully purple.
Purple for rival. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, thank
color
you.
me purple. Because, dude, I'll tell you what. And no offense to your team or anybody, but there was one game, I think it was against the Knights, but I don't remember exactly. I was supposed to be working. And you guys were kind of on the defense, and you did something that was just amazing. And like, it basically, I was just like, as soon as I seen it happen, I'm like, that's game. That he just switched the game right around, right there. That's the fucking play.
It was probably game 4 because I think that was the only game that we were kind of like on the defensive. I don't remember exactly what happened. I was actually really sick that day against PK. I woke up with like the worst sore throat ever, and I heard from a few other people that strep throat was going around. So I was like, oh god, and I felt really bad for the games. But so to be honest, during that set, I probably made some good plays here and there. I'll be honest, but I kind of just played my role, which was pretty cool because like a lot of the people, everyone on my team has the opportunity to carry. Like that's what's so great about our team, I think. So like when one of us is sick, for example, that day, like I can kind of just sit in the back seat and just like watch them take control of the game, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be nice to be able to rely on your teammate. What? What
was that?
What? Oh, sorry.
I had to
carry
this
you
one
guys
game.
were still here.
I know our team can rely on each other for one thing, that's for sure. But
yeah, we can.
No, you can rely on each other to be bitching at each other.
Oh hell yeah!
That's how we work.
But anyway, the other thing that I really, and I think this was more against Dignitas, was all the Fire Giant and Gold Fury steals you had last week.
Yeah, that was Famana's just too good at stealing objectives. His 2 does way too much damage, and it's instant, you know, if you just get in there, it's like really good secure, especially over some of the gods that are being played right now that like don't really have that great of security, you know?
Yeah, dude, when you just stayed in the Gold Fury pit, like, dude, I'm not going to let that thing get unleashed. It's going to stay low health. You guys are going to have to do something.
Yeah, and then I had Athena ult as well.
Like, okay, it's just him. Like we can do this, right? We're a pro team. We can all just kill him or burst the Gold Fury. Damn it, he got it again.
We're 5 pro players versus 1. What could happen, right? Oh fuck, he did it again. Great. It was funny too because I think Dad was either texting me or telling me somehow like,
I was in the Discord.
He did it again.
I was chatting it up, I think, in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. I was sitting there working to death and like wishing that SPL would be in like prime time or something. But.
Yeah, the timing on SPL has been a bit rough, but what's funny about that specifically is that Dignitas last split was really known for stealing objectives, and Rival has always been known to, it's called rivaling an objective. It's where you just try and do it in front of somebody's face, like, and just say like, screw it, like, well, who cares if they steal it? So it was like a best of both worlds in that set because they were rivaling objectives as Dignitas, and we were Dignitasing them by stealing them in front of their faces.
That was pretty funny to watch.
Yeah, dude, those were some great games. I just you stood out so many times. I'm just like, and I get to talk to him next week. This is awesome.
Well, thanks,
like,
dude.
Again, I just feel like I'm fangirling a little bit here, but
I appreciate it, dude.
Just a little bit, huh? Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's all right though.
Well, here,
understandable.
You know what else I like to fangirl over? I like to fangirl over myself too sometimes.
That's awkward.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
here we go. Let me get my phone out.
I got a story to tell this week.
Let me pop my Twitter up here.
Yeah, you go ahead. Whatever. I got a story to tell.
I'll be on Reddit. Tell me when he's done.
Fineokay, just to kind of give you the 2-second background, I'm coming from PlayStation Island to PC, and I don't WASD move at all. Like, only in Minecraft with monsters off. Yeah, that's the only way I WASD move. But I have this convoluted setup that works for me. I kind of have it set up like I played in WoW and just go that route. But I've been playing some Kumbhakarna since I got him. I've played 4 games now as Kumba. I'm on a 4-game winning streak. I'm on a 3-game downset gut killing someone with the flying minion streak as well. And dude, there is nothing better than that. And what I love on PC is how easy it is to just flick that minion in any direction you really want him to go. And
that was so limited on PS4. There was like a cone that you could do basically. That was judged by your sensitivity.
Yeah.
Because you had to have fast enough stick movement. But on PC, it's so nice to use that.
You could even throw it behind you if you do a complete 180. You can throw it the opposite direction, which is funny.
Dude, I got a nice like about 90 to 95 degree angle on this Geb who had no health, and I hit him square in the face, and he had a little less no health. I'm like, come on! Like, that was a perfect shot, a nice flick to the side. But, I definitely feel like I'm starting to come into my own. I still fumble finger from time to time and shit like that. But, oh God, I'm enjoying the better control with PC. Hands down, you can do more of what you want to do.
I'm in the same boat as well. Like I said, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, so I played it on console. So, like, I started a transition. I started playing stuff like DayZ and stuff on the computer, Minecraft, all that stuff. So, kind of casual games, but I got more into competitive games as I got better on PC. And yeah, I love the movement on PC much more than in console. The only thing that's different, I think, in some games is like aim assist. Like, you'll see like aim assist on some console games, which is
really annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very annoying, actually.
Yeah, I decided I would punish myself and to practice, using my keyboard more. I decided that Nier Automata seemed like a really good idea to learn on. It's rough. That game is unforgiving.
I also switched from PS4 to PC, but I had played on PC like 2 years prior when I first found the game, and then kind of like gave it a break because I wasn't good. And I had no one to tell me how to be good, so I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. And my cousin came up like 2 or 3 years later and was like, dude, we should play this game again on PS4. Just came out or something. And I'm like, all right, let's go. So we played it for like a week. He gave up. Now I'm on a competitive team in a, little league on a PC team.
Yeah.
So it's been a pretty wild ride, but it's fun. And there are a lot of times where I had no idea how to work my keyboard still.
That's why I play on half a controller.
Our first league game was 2 days after we technically switched?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Like, all right, guys, like,
hilarious.
hey, I signed us up for this league and basically threw them all into the deep end of the pool with no swimming lessons.
I mean, come on, boys. We played really well our first game. That was one of our best games.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Then we tried to get coordinated.
I don't know. I think one of your best games is one you can talk about because it'll be broadcast by the time this is broadcast.
Hey, finally. We get one of those W's broadcasted.
Yep.
Yeah, finally. That'll be cool. That will be very cool, actually. I went 11-1, bro.
Dude.
You did.
Carry lane OP.
Off. I forget what I went, like 5-2 or something, 5 and something like that.
Yeah, we all did good. Actually,
Everybody,
you know what's hilarious?
What?
In the one game, our only death was on Guy. Everyone else, there were 2 other deaths that had died to Gold Fury.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
right. That was
really?
our first game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We're fairly
I
consistent.
was like, oh my god.
We're fairly consistent. We're consistently getting a little better each week, which is kind of what we expected to have happen.
Yeah, we do. We kind of took a back step there, and we had that bye week.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, bye week threw us off so bad, but we're back in track.
As long as you're having fun.
Yeah. How do you deal with bye weeks?
Most of the time we have fun. We have our moments, though.
Oh yeah, sometimes shit gets real.
Yeah, it's fine though. So, as you play in a competitive team as well, Fineokay, totally different thing. What are some just general purpose practice stuff that you tend to do with for Smite? Like you with the team, not just your scrims, but other stuff on the side that's not just a scrimmage match.
Spending time together is always really good for camaraderie and just chemistry and everything. Like something that a few of us do on Rival is when I'm there. I mean, even when I'm not there, they do it. But when I'm there, we all work out together. We like to. I mean, a lot of times we'll do some other things other than Smite, play board games, hang out, go to dinner, do stuff like that. But even when we're doing those things, a lot of times it'll come back to Smite and we'll have a discussion. Maybe it's maybe we're just joking around about something or talking about something specific. And sometimes ideas spawn from that, or just sometimes we'll solve problems just by talking about Smite completely outside of the game, at a bowling alley or something, just something.
Right.
Something completely different, but I think that helps a lot. Just doing stuff outside the game, because it helps a lot with your chemistry and being on the same page. Plus, it kind of it helps everybody's attitudes as well, because once you have a real bond with other people, you can kind of talk about anything, even if it's something serious.
Yeah, I feel that we live a million miles apart.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, what's interesting with us being in a mostly internet group of friends, obviously, Dan and Beagle live in my house because they're my kids. But, that's what Assault is for us. It's sometimes, dude, just stop playing fucking Conquest and just go have some fun in Assault where it doesn't matter.
Exactly, I agree. Same thing with Arena. Just running it, holding W in an Arena.
Whoa, we're serious about our arenas here.
Come on now.
It doesn't even have to be Smite as well. You can all hop on... I don't know, the most casual game ever, just I don't know, just Minecraft. And
that's what I'm saying, bro. We need to split push Minecraft.
Just have fun with that, and I think that'd help a lot in Smite. So
yeah,
actually, that's not a bad idea. We should start a Minecraft.
I mean, we just need to pressure Hi-Rez to make an Assault. Assault is just clearly superior to Conquest, and it should be the main game mode. That's all I'm saying.
I know the perfect 13-year-old to start us a Minecraft server.
Cobblestone.
Right.
I mean, I'm down.
I mean, I'm not playing Minecraft. I'm just letting you know. You guys can start a server if you want.
Guy will just he'll just be the guy that sits in the corner, doesn't do anything, but just talks to us.
Right. Yeah. He'll be cursing at other games. Oh, what the hell? No, Cerberus, where were you?
Why are you building that? That's so stupid. Whole time.
Shit. So, what do you think about the state of solo lane right now in this season, in this meta?
I like it a lot more than last season, because I think a lot of what last season's was just kind of buy Guardian's Blessing, play characters that scale, and kind of just AFK. And you would never see solo kills for one, or you would really never see any pressure on that side of the map. You wouldn't see even 2v2s or 3v3s. So it was really boring. Splice literally won Worlds by playing Geb solo, which is the lowest pressure god ever. So that kind of just shows you what the meta was like. And this season with the Totem, first of all, the Totem has been a great addition to solo lane. It was getting memed at first when it first came out. Even I did. I was memeing it and saying this is so stupid and it's worthless. But now that I've played a bunch with it and competitive and everything like that, it is a very valuable objective, and it's up every minute. So I think it's been a great addition, and I think that's part of the reason that now with the meta, it's a lot more pressure oriented. And you could still play a lot. Like, you could play so many things in solo right now, which I really, really like. I think it's probably in one of the best spots it's ever been, except for the fact that they just buffed Thor, and now Set's like a disgusting god, and like that's kind of dictating the meta like right now. But so far this season, I really liked it, season 6. So.
Right. I mean, we've been playing. We've been threatening the Set solo. Americans been threatening that for what, 2 months?
Since we started.
Yeah, since we started playing, he's like, Set solo, I'm telling you. I'm telling you he's going to be a solo laner. And then he was like, look, this guy's fucking playing Set solo.
that was weird, because when he came out, that's what I thought as well. I was like, it seems like he's more of like a laner. Like, his jungle is okay, but the fact that he has so much sustain on his ult, and like his lane clear, and just like his escape and everything, it's just really good for like being in lane, because you can poke people out. And his low cooldowns, that's another thing. Like, he has super short cooldowns. So when I first saw him, I was like, oh, he's definitely going to be a solo laner. But I don't know. I didn't experiment enough with it until now.
Right. Yeah. That totem is a blessing. Yeah. There's nothing better than being in mid lane, like out of your mana, and all of a sudden the totem goes down. You're like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
especially the beginning of the game. It's so good.
Or me playing my Uller in the carry, like, I need mana, please, by the gods. Oh, the totem, yes.
Yeah, I definitely remember with last year's solo lane. And I just remember watching the games. They're like, and over to solo lane, okay, and we're moving on. Just like the announcers are great.
Yeah, exactly. There was never anything interesting going on, so they barely even showed it.
All right, we'll check on the solo lane here. Yep, they're hitting each other. All right, we're gonna go back to an interesting lane.
Or not even hitting each other, just staring at each other as the minions die.
Yeah.
Staring at each other.
You see, like,
I remember one game I had last season. I had this guy, me and him would just clear the wave and then stand beside each other and watch our teams fight. Like, there was no point in either of us doing anything, so we just stood right beside each other, jumping, waving, watching our team fight. And every now and again, we would rotate into the fights and play normally, but, like, there was just no point in us fighting. We both had sustain, we both had shields, like, it was just pointless. We just slapped each other for the first 10 minutes and then just decided we were friends.
That's funny. That I had that exact same experience with Benji in a scrim session. We were playing like two of the most boring gods ever. Kuzenbo, Sobek. We were Kuzenbo versus Sobek.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
And it was at the state of the meta where like solo really wasn't deciding the game at all. So the game was over probably in 15 minutes, and unless something crazy happened, solo never really participated. So there was one point where there was a fight going on in duo lane, and he and I both were just watching the minions die, and then we both looked at each other, then looked over across the map and just started watching the fight and just like see what happened. And that was in a professional scrim. That's how bad it was.
I'm so glad that shit still happens, though. That's just funny.
Yeah.
Even up at that level.
I had that. We were playing a conquest, and you weren't there, Dan. But me and the other support just watched our carries slap each other. They
just
wouldn't
like,
stop.
Look at these two idiots. They don't even hit their abilities, but they're just trying.
They were
that one hit a basic.
So we're just watching.
Still going.
One of them, and
They're not hitting each other.
Yeah, and we were both Gab. So like, someone would get low, shield, walk away and reset. I'm like, oh, this is great.
There's some games where you just can't help but troll just that little bit.
Right.
Oh my God. Another game I had this week, though. I don't necessarily want to talk about it, but
He's gonna.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get through. I clicked on a mage carry, and then my mid laner just randomly switched to a hunter. or to a mage from a hunter, and I'm like, shit, okay, well now I'm going to go pick a hunter. All right. So I click on the drop down, and I click on hunter, and it selects Agni, and the last second goes by, and it locks in Agni carry. And I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? Like, what the hell am I going to do with this? I can't even, like, realistically hit the whole wave without basically dying. And sure enough, it was up against an Apollo Bacchus that would literally just jump on me every time. So I'm like, great, okay. I ended up going 2-0 and, like, just destroying that game. Like, Apollo never came back to lane because I just destroyed him as soon as supports left. I'm like, okay, apparently I can't play anything I want to play, but something I've never touched before, easy game, good money. Dude, I was so mad in the beginning though. I was like, I just kept talking shit on Agni Carry. I'm like, imagine playing Agni Carry in 2019. Imagine.
I mean, it's possible.
Apparently, I did pretty well, but like,
you
oh
know,
my god.
With Fineokay here, that means there's now a rivalry for who wins the World Championships this year. So, so Fineokay, there's last year we had just been starting. We were like 6 or 7 months in, and Paul from PC had come on, and we're like, well, you're the first pro player to come on, so that means you're going to win, and they did. So, you got a better chance than ever now. You have the magic.
Wow, Yuki.
Glad to hear it.
Call you out in that. That's Kabam.
Kabam's going to kill me.
Jeez, Yuki.
So, kick another one back.
Rip.
Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. You remember I said I had a comment before recording and I had to wait?
I do, yeah.
Okay, this is it. Okay. So, I watch your YouTube consistently. And I'm telling you what, I never get more angry than when I'm watching a Fineokay video. Because you don't miss. Like, it's so... I watched you... I think it was your Chiron solo game. And you just hit, like, every fucking auto. And, like, all your shit, like, so well. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Can you miss, please? And then, like, right as I said that, you shot him through an entire minion wave that was, like, mid-spreading. And he was running through it. And you still hit him. And I'm like, Fineokay, please! Just miss, please! And then you just killed him. And I'm like, no! Oh, God, you're making me feel terrible.
I only upload the ones where I hit everything, so don't worry. There's like 10 videos for every one video where I hit everything.
Oh my God, I do. It is really crazy, though. You are super skilled.
Thank you.
And, like, you could play so many different crazy things in solo.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes, like, to get better, I've always suggested to people just to get better at roll to off roll, but also to just, like, mess around and play weird stuff. Obviously, still try. Like, when I play Chiron solo, I don't think it's, like, really that viable, but I'm still trying because, you can learn a lot about your role and get better at the game in general just by doing weird stuff and having fun,
And you definitely made it viable in that game.
Yeah, I actually popped off that game. It was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to watch. Check out Fineokay's YouTube, guys.
So what do you think? I mean, I've been trying to pay attention a little bit more to the SPL and, try to get down like what meta, actually is developing out there. And what I've seen is it seems like each laner just goes right to their lane and support and jungle both kind of do the jungle thing, hitting the buffs early on with each laner helping each other out. But I know Yuki being our support gets frustrated at times where, where does that support start? And have you seen, have you guys done a lot of the support starting over in solo lane? Or what do you think of that at least?
So the meta, you're right. The jungler and the support are kind of like they're kind of the wild card. They can kind of start wherever they need to that game. And usually what it depends on is just where you can have pressure on the map. So most of the time that's just based on matchups. So a lot of the time the support will start with the solo laner to make sure that they can secure blue buffs. But also this gives the jungler the option to go over to the red side of the map. The problem with the jungler going over to the red side of the map before was that it left blue buff open to invades or whatever, because back then supports would start in dual lane. But with the support being in solo, the jungler can go to red, the support can help the solo laner do blue and clear the first wave, and then the support can rotate out after that. He can go to mid lane, he can go to back camps, he can do all that stuff. Another option that supports have right now in this meta is they can what we call jerking off the jungler. He can just run at the jungler and just make sure that he never has like any opportunity to farm. And because supports are always behind no matter what regardless, it actually puts you in an advantageous spot if you're able to put their jungler behind and let your jungler free farm, because your jungler, once he gets a speed buff, backs, blue, whatever, or maybe goes to the red side, if he hits level 2 before the enemy jungler, he can start invading and just pressuring the map however he wants to. So support right now is actually a really cool role because they can decide the early game pretty easily. They can help solo lane get blue buffs, they can invade and mess with the enemy jungler, they can open up the map so that their own jungler can get a lot of free farm and stuff like that. So there's a lot of options for them right now in the meta.
I hate the new carry meta. Why are we playing mages?
That's okay. I haven't considered invading before. I might have to try that. Especially because I like Naja support, and that ring toss can be such a cheeky steal on the speed at the beginning.
Yeah, and Naja is really good with that because he can slow them and auto attack them down. His auto attacks level 1 are really good. He's probably one of the best gods at doing that.
Yeah.
I think it was Aurora this week did that as Hercules. When I stole the speed buff, fought with him the whole way over to red buff, stole red buff.
Yeah, exactly. You just follow him around.
Fucking Hercules.
It's fun.
Actually, I kind of remember the other day, I forget, I think it was Murican. I just looked up at the beginning of the game and this man stole their speed, stole their backs, and was fighting them on blue. And I'm like, he didn't even say anything. And he's like, yeah, I was doing fine. I'm like, what the fuck?
Because the thing is, like, I think in a casual level, a lot of people don't do it because they think that, oh, they're a level behind the enemy support. Like they think they're playing the game wrong because they're behind the enemy support. But in reality, if they're getting their jungler ahead and the enemy jungler is way behind their jungler, that's a lot better of a win condition than being ahead as a support. Like, who cares if you're behind as support? Like, you're still going to do your job. And also, they added, I forget when they added it, but they recently added that thing where the lowest XP on your team gets more XP or more
that was
gold.
The start of the season.
Yeah, so in reality, you're just securing that extra XP by putting yourself behind, So there's a lot of good benefits to it.
And also, I care. I care if I'm
I was going to ask.
Don't get him started. Oh, no.
No. To be fair, I don't care if I'm a level or 2 behind. I care if I'm like 4 or 5 levels behind.
Yeah, that could be a start to something bad.
That hurts.
Yeah, it always is.
I'll have to try that invade thing.
Yeah, do that.
Because we know I'm squiggly. I can squiggle.
We know you're squiggly, and we know you're annoying, so.
I mean, I'm definitely annoying, yeah.
Those are the ingredients.
All right.
Perfect.
It's annoying when they do it to us.
Artemis support coming back out.
Times.
Oh my god.
Please.
Don't hurt anyone here, buddy.
This dude put it in his top tier list.
He put it in SS Plus in his fucking tier list. What a fucking bastard.
His tier list. I'm like, oh, hell fucking no.
Gotta keep the meme alive. I can't just let it die.
Oh, the meme dreams. Oh,
I played
god.
a grand total of 1 game of Cernino support. It went well.
Wait, who did he say was the support next? He said something the other day. He was playing a god. He's like, oh, yeah, this is it. Next support.
Oh, wasn't it Thoth?
It was, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, I'm just going to root everybody. Here,
Yes.
support Thoth. And then he'll take all my kills like Beagle
Think
does.
about it. He's got a stun, all right? Or he's got a root. I can get in there. I've got a long dash. I can make it from way back to get up into the fight where I need to be. And I help secure structures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I help secure structures.
That
Get
bonus-
out of here.
Beagle's the worst at stealing my kills when she's support.
Oh my god.
The
Beagle will be
absolute worst.
9-2 as Ymir, and I'll be like 2-4 as Chiron when I should be 11-0. I said Chiron because I was talking about Chiron, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
anybody, and she'll just take them all. She's so good at last hitting.
Yeah, she's so good at stealing the kills.
She
Yeah.
practices.
With an
I'm
auto,
sure.
too. It's not even like she accidentally does it. She comes in and hits them with an auto.
My first PC pentakill was stolen by an Ymir auto, and we now have an emote in our Discord for that.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, buddy. So
Oh,
Or
you've
scarring.
been around. Yeah. So you've been around Smite for a while, and the general consensus. What's your feeling on the changes they've made when the season 6 here started up? Like, as far as like your initial impressions, and then how it's gone. What you think about the season so far?
I talked about the totem a little bit before, but I'll just cover that again. I think that at first, a lot of people were, I guess, they're pretty negative about the changes to that. And so far, I think it's been a great addition. So that's something that I think everyone kind of underestimated, especially when like Hi-Rez kind of thought it up and put it into the game. The gods that they've added into the game this season, I think, are the coolest they've ever been. Without kind of going over the power creep, I think that there's been a decent amount of power creep in the game lately.
Yeah, you think?
But I think at least some of the gods, it's justified because some of the god designs that they've been adding this season are like the coolest they've ever had.
1,000%.
And it's been really exciting to play. Like I said before we even started the podcast, Horus and Set are two of my favorite gods now. And when I first saw their kits and watched, I was like, oh, it's cool. It's not that interesting. But now that I've played and felt how fluid they are and just like how fun they are, like with different team comps, especially like Horus Ultimate, like the things you can do with that, like I just think they've been adding so many cool gods to the game and really spicing up the game with some, I guess, power creep. And then the items and stuff that they added, I think have been pretty good. Balance-wise, I think this is probably some of the best it's ever been. There's a lot of different viable things. There's a lot of different metas and play styles and stuff that you can get away with. Yeah, and I found, like you said, I have been playing Smite for a while, so I've gone through a lot of different developers and people who have been working on the game. They've fired a lot of people. A lot of people have quit and stuff like that, so I've known a lot of them. And back in the day, I often found myself thinking, like, how could they even think that was okay? Like, I used to ask myself that a lot. Like, I felt like when I watched the patch notes, I was like, how could you fathom that this would be okay? You know what I mean?
Fatalis.
Yeah, stuff like that. And but I feel like I haven't thought that in a while with the current developers and the people working on the game, like Pon, Clumsy, Ajax, all those people. Like, I feel like they actually have a good understanding of the game because I think a couple of them are former pros.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like I haven't thought that in a long time, which is, I think, a good sign.
I think I almost thought that with the Arthurian items, though. Almost.
I would say that about a lot of the gods and items that have been released this season. As you go, holy shit, and then you get in the game and you're like, oh, it's a little overpowered. Like it looks, they're adding, again, with the mechanics they're adding in. The mechanics are crazy. The post-ult mechanics, Set, Horus, Jormungandr at the beginning of the season. You just look at what they've been releasing and you're like, holy crap. And with the exception of, I would honestly say, Merlin and Arthur, Merlin's still a bit, like, those two were over the top, and that's going to happen when you release new characters and mechanics. But on the whole, things, again, that power creep is accurate, but it's not like huge. It's not like a Bologna release anymore, or when Fatalis got changed, or Golden Bow got made. Like, there's definitely that more of that game knowledge going in. And they go, well, if we do this, 10% might be way too much. Let's turn that down to 7% before it gets released. And they're really good about changing. I've seen a lot more changes coming out of the PTS.
Yeah,
before it hits live, a lot more than we used to.
I feel like the patch schedule this season has been a lot better. Worked out a lot better for them.
Yeah,
I think that too.
The updates and so, how do you feel about the local playing on LAN every game now instead of internet or?
Oh yeah,
online.
I love that. I mean, it kind of sucks that I can't live there permanently because I have a girlfriend and she's going to school right now. We live together. We've lived together for a while now. But I fly out there pretty much every week. Like, I'm flying out tomorrow. I'm there every week that we play, and what I'll do so that I can actually get practice with them and hang out with them is I'll fly out early. So like, I'm flying out tomorrow, but we play, I think, Thursday or Friday. So I'm there like 3 or 4 days prior to when we actually play, so I can hang out, talk about stuff, get ready for the game that week. And so far it's worked out really well. I mean, we've only lost one set in the regular season. But I love playing on LAN because not only is the connection obviously a lot better, so that you don't have to ever worry about these variables that kind of ruin the competitive experience. Not only is that a really big plus, but just seeing everyone nonstop, seeing the developers, seeing like people we know, like the community managers and stuff like that. And then the other pro players who, honestly, I'm friends with a lot of the other pro players, even though, I compete against them. It's just really nice. It's like a big family,
Yeah, it definitely is. That's that. Like, we saw that, and there was the big controversy. What are we gonna do? People, it's the people that were willing to do it stuck around, and it definitely looks like some of the matches this season have been just way over the top awesome.
Yeah,
you didn't like. It's been great, and seeing all the reactions, being able to see all the reactions every week for every game is really fun too.
Yeah,
I
for
felt
sure.
bad for Joshy yesterday because he kept getting on the receiving end of the Giannis alts. Like, will you just fire it at somebody else just once. Be nice to the guy.
It was a homing missile. Hurry had a homing missile on him.
Oh my goodness! It was funny in a kind of a sad way. Oh yeah, but I've definitely been enjoying the SPL this year. There's, like I said, I mean, I work in an insurance office, so I can have something up on my second monitor because like I'm the only person in the room. There's no other noise. I need something going on, so I usually put something on. So I'm like, you know what? I'm putting the SPL on this year. I don't fucking care.
Oh, yeah.
And there's been a lot of times where there's all of a sudden I'm just like, ooh, like, like, oh, yeah, no one's around. It don't matter. Yeah, no, there's been a lot of good plays, and it's a lot of fun. I still I struggle watching just a VOD of it because I already know who won or lost by the time I would watch an aftercast of it. And I even tried to watch one of the games the other day from our team. I couldn't even watch it. They casted it, but I'm like, oh, I watched this in, either on the stream or over his shoulder, and kind of already knew what had happened. So I'm like, I couldn't even watch it at that point in time. But it would be nice to see them go to a more prime time with that. But it's been fun. It has been a great season.
Speaking of that, how do you feel about the SPL schedule this year? It's kind of a little different than what it's been in the years prior.
Yeah, I don't really like that it's what is it, like 12 or 11 p.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays and Fridays, work days. I mean, it's terrible for viewership, but even the games played. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I think next season that should be a lot better. I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but yeah. But yeah. I mean, either way, let's just say it's going to be improved, which is a good thing. And that's the thing.
It would definitely be a good thing.
I don't know if you guys know who Cooper is. He gets a lot of shit for a ton of different reasons. But the thing about Hi-Rez is that a lot of stuff, even just for the esports scene, is decided by the higher ups and people that you can't really question. So, but lately, he's been making a lot of improvements, and they've been talking about doing a lot of different things. And I mean, it just goes to show with this season, the LAN and everything like that. I think it's been amazing for the esports scene. So definitely props to them. But yeah, the schedule has been all over the place, and I definitely want that. I want it to be at a better time for viewers because, like you're saying, nobody can watch it at 1 p.m. on a work day. That's just not going to happen.
They took my router out of the building. I plugged my own janky old router into the network at work, and they finally found it, and they're like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, they made me take it. And I'm like, they were kind of mad. I was like, "No, I was doing it to listen to this," and they're like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah."
I was doing. That was funny. They're like, "Whose router is this?" Mine.
It's mine.
I don't know.
Well, shoot. I don't know. Don't follow the Ethernet cable that leads to my phone.
That's how good of a router it is, I guess. It's a junky one. I'll be like, oh, I don't know whose it is, man. But...
Well, it wasn't the old guys.
I guess another thing as well is it's not just work days, there's school days a lot of the times as well. And there's a lot of it's probably a lot harder to watch Smite at school than it is at work, and that's even worse. So it's I don't know. They should try to cater to the audience better.
Yeah, I think the time frame really came down a compromise with the new schedule and everything starting up is what it feels like.
Yeah,
because the games used to be later,
and there's still some catering to the European time zones.
Yeah, that's true.
That's definitely a big factor in it because there's a lot of European players still.
Might be a little bit of catering to guys streaming and stuff like that also.
Right.
Yeah, that could be it too. Part of it.
Yeah. So about time to talk about our boy of the week here.
Boy of the week.
Oh, this week's session of progression. Yes. So speaking of this week's session of progression, we're gonna talk about Thor.
Woo. All right, so Thor is a Marvel
the peasants
movie.
Rejoice. That's all I get. Peasants rejoicing.
I'm scrolling through Wiki.
No, you're on the Marvel wiki, Dan. Wrong wiki.
Oh, damn it.
Well,
Go ahead, Yuki. What's the lore for Thor?
I'm gonna read.
Lore.
I'm gonna read from translated modern English instead of an old English translation of the Poetic Edda to make this a little easier on everybody. So
I'm sure our audience will appreciate that.
So Thor is the Norse god of thunder, lightning, storms, oak trees, and strength. And he's considered the protector of mankind in our realm. He also is the one who's going to lead the charge against Jormungandr during Ragnarok, the end of the world in Norse mythology. And just general guy who goes and beats the crap out of giants for shits and giggles. He there's obviously, he's got his hammer Mjolnir, which we see in the game. The new reworked kit, I definitely think is a little more accurate to one. They're kind of playing off the Marvel movies a little bit, but also it's still a little more lore accurate than the characters' animations were before. We have between him and Odin is where we get 90% of our stories with Norse mythology. He does show up in forms as well in Scandinavian mythology, Germanic, Roman, because the Norse legends were around for a very long time. They're one of the older mythologies we have, and because of the way that they would trade, they were big traders, in like the 800s, 900s BCE. I mean, they were really around. They were doing a lot. They were sailing everywhere, even before they started conquering other places. So we get a lot of influence in a lot of different places. But so Mjolnir was forged in the heart of a dying sun, and it can only be picked up by people that are considered worthy. And so that's, pretty common knowledge as far as Thor is concerned. One of my favorite facts, this is going to go into our wacky mythological facts of the week, is he has a chariot pulled by 3 goats, 3 immortal goats. On many occasions, he kills the goats to eat them for food, and then they come back to life.
Savage.
Well, Steve, it's your turn tonight.
Yeah. I read that, I'm like, yeah. But it's fucking hilarious. He's tied in a lot. He's considered Thor, Odin's son. You'll see him in a lot of more traditional text. He is, a son of Odin. He interacts a lot with Balder, one of his brothers. And so it's there's just a lot out for him. And there's all kinds of crazy stories. He goes into Niflheim and all your other places. If you're interested, you can look up translations for free because it's pretty old. You can look up the Poetic Edda, the Heimskringla, and the sagas that go along with them. And he really sticks around. Thursday is named after him. It is Thor's Day. And Friday is named after Freya or Frigga, depending on how you want to pronounce it. So there's still influences today. There's kind of been a modern movement to bring back Norse mythology as a religion. So, he's just coming back. And obviously the Marvel movies, more people are interested now than ever. There's definitely...
Why not? Shit.
Do what?
Why not?
Why not?
Odin.
So, if you're into the mythological stories, there's just a ton out there. He had Loki turn him into a woman and got married to a giant before he goes, surprise, give me my hammer back, and kills them all.
Dude, this guy just gets shit done. He just gets shit done. He doesn't care how he has to do it.
He just ganks some giants. There's just so many wacky things. Loki definitely, and him are just some of the craziest shenanigan stories. And it's just really, really good. As far as mythological stories go, there's some of the more interesting ones. I'd say them and Scandinavian mythology, which is where we get Chernobog from, which I can't wait to see more of in Smite. Definitely have some of the wackiest stories out there. So,
that some people say that Thor is Mike Tyson after a workout. You know why?
Why?
So he says, "I'm Thor."
Oh God!
Sorry, I just had to.
It's okay.
That's going in the intro.
That's going in the intro. That is the intro.
Shit. Yep, 50
Oh
minute
my!
mark. Gotcha.
Okay.
And I even seen that in comments. I was like, oh, like this is a dad joke. I love it.
Oh God. See. Oh God. Okay.
All right,
So Thor's
fly
abilities.
through the abilities here.
Yeah, Thor's abilities.
Then we'll let Fineokay discuss them.
Yeah. Warrior's Madness is his passive. Thor gains physical power for each enemy god within 30 units of him. The physical power is 10 per stack of a max stacks of 3. His first ability is Mjolnir's Attunement. Thor throws Mjolnir forward, doing damage to all enemies in its path. If hit twice, minions will take 80% damage, while gods take 200% damage from the return. While the hammer is flying, pressing the button again will teleport Thor to his hammer. The damage is 50 to 210 plus 30% of your magic or physical power. Ooh, if Thor had magical power. Ouch. 70 to 90 mana cost, and the cooldown is 12 seconds. His second ability is Tectonic Rift. Thor slams his hammer on the ground, causing a fissure to appear in front of him, stunning enemies and blocking movement, and sometimes knocking them to the left, to the right, leaving them dead center stuck in the wall. Who knows? I hate that about Thor. I hate that. That's the one thing I don't like. But, okay. His stun is 1 to 1.6 seconds. His fissure lifetime is 3.7 seconds. The cooldown goes from 17 to 15 seconds, and the ability costs 60 mana. His third ability, the one that most recently got reworked, which feels real good, Berserker Barrage. Thor spins his hammer around him, dealing damage to enemies in front of him up to 3 times, and those behind him up to 2 times. The final swing deals extra damage. Thor is not immune to knockup for the duration. The damage per tick is 30 to 110 plus 40% of your physical power. The final swing damage is 45 to 125 plus 60% of your physical power. So the total would be 105 to 345 plus 140 is what it says in the notes. The radius is 20, cooldown 8 seconds, mana cost is 55, scaling to 75. And then his ultimate, Anvil of Dawn. After a short build-up, Thor leaps into the air. While in the air, Thor can target a great distance away to come crashing down in the area, dealing damage and stunning all enemies in the radius. After Thor lands from his ultimate, his hammer Mjolnir is infused with lightning for 6 seconds. During this buff state, each of his basic attacks and abilities chain lightning to nearby enemy gods, damaging them with each hit. It does say enemy gods, by the way, too, not minions, so you can't do that. Damage is 150 to 350 plus 120% of your physical power. The initial target takes 20% plus 60%, or 20 to 60 damage plus 15%, of your physical power per chain lightning. The chain targets take 10 to 30 plus 7.5 of your physical power. The stun lasts 1.5 seconds. The cooldown is 90 seconds, and the cost is 80 to 120 mana. That's a lot of stuff.
Yes, definitely. So, Fineokay, you're loading in Thor to Conquest here. What you do?
So Thor is like, I think for pro players, pretty sure every single pro player has a rank 10 Thor, because not only is he like one of the oldest gods in the game, his mechanics are, I'd say he's one of the few gods in the game that has a really low skill floor, but probably one of the highest skill ceilings, which means that he is easy to pick up, but very, very hard to like completely master. And I think that a lot of his mechanics translate across the game, because some of it is aiming, some of it's like just decision making, some of it is like reacting to things, like with his knockup immunity that he had before. I mean, he still has it, but it's a little bit different now. And just like where to land with your ult, stuff like that, like predicting player movement. He pretty much all of his mechanics kind of translate really well, You
don't want to weaken the ults. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly. 5-head. But that's what I think. That's part of the reason that a lot of pro players have rank 10. I also just think he's like a really fun god. So like when I was trying to get better at the game, I played a lot of Thor, especially in ranked when I was just jungling. I would just play Thor and try and win games off, just trying to carry the game and rotating and trying controlling the map. And he's probably one of the earliest gods that can just control the entire pace of the game, because he can be in basically 2 lanes at once with his ult. He can run over to solo, get a little bit of pressure, go to like Fire Giant Pit, ult over to mid lane and control mid lane. fight and stuff like that. I mean, usually global pressure gods can do that pretty easily. So if I'm loading into a game as Thor, first of all, looking to have fun because I think he's one of the more fun gods in the game. He's also just one of the more notable gods because, like we talked about, the Marvel and, everyone knows who Thor is now.
I thought they did him really well in the movies recently.
Yeah, definitely. And it's obviously a little different because it's like the comic Thor. They're not exactly the same, but
they have a different origin as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit different, but they're still similar in a lot of ways. And honestly, I the recent changes to Thor, because he just got some changes. At first, I was a little sad about because he's one of the oldest gods in the game, and I really didn't think he was that bad before. Like, I thought that really all they needed to do to make him like pretty viable, more than he already was just decrease the time it takes for him to go in the air on his ultimate, and like give his 3 something else, like just some other thing, because it has knockup immunity or it had knockup immunity. But give it one more thing, maybe slow immunity, and I thought he would have been like a perfectly like viable god. But his new kit is a lot more lore accurate, so I think in the long run this can be a lot better. And since he's such like a notable god, like like everybody knows who Thor is, so if you're gonna get into Smite, that's probably one of the first gods that you're gonna try. I think it's cool that they made his kit a lot better. And even though he's like overpowered right now, I'd rather a god like that be overpowered than be underpowered, kind of like Loki. Like Loki, I think is a really is somewhere where I think the devs could go really. They could do a lot on, because Loki is such a notable god.
You don't want to open that can of worms.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They could completely change his kit. I think if they completely changed his kit and made it like a fun, interactive, not like super aggravating kit, it would be really good for the game, because everybody knows who Loki is. That's going to be one of the first gods people try, especially since he's an assassin. Anyway,
I've
that's
heard
a
a
lot
lot
off
of
topic,
people-
but it's still on topic because it's
Oh
Loki,
no,
Thor, is everything.
you heard that, High Res. You heard it. Fineokay. Rework Loki.
I've heard a lot of people saying they want him to kind of go to like a Shingo where he could teleport to his clones and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
or something
I mean, there's
like
so many
that.
cool things you can do.
It could be a lot more fun and interactive instead of being like a one-shot runaway machine.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
if the next person they need to fix in the Norse area is Odin.
Yeah, that too. The Norse gods in general, they just, I guess,
they're old.
Yeah,
they're all really old.
Yeah,
Odin just needs a modern day touch of Smite to him.
Yeah, he needs that like super like what do we call it when their kits are just retarded? They have just so much stuff in it. What were we calling that? Bloated. He needs some bloating. Because
he's not very
Baron's
bloated. Put him out
abilities,
in the
for
sun
instance,
a little bit.
And
Baron's
we know they can
abilities,
do
for
it.
instance, have like 10 different fucking effects on him. Odin has to use 2 to make 1 effect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we know they can do it. They've released really cool gods this season, so like, just go back and
they've
change
done some
them.
nice stuff, like Thor and Nike have gotten some nice touch ups, and I think they're in a much better spot than what they just were.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I like the Nike rework, but I miss the HP5.
Yeah.
Whenever I play Nike now, I'm like, oh, I'll heal. No, I won't.
So, how do you like to build Thor? What's your build path on him?
Well, like I said, I used to play a lot of him in jungle, but I play him a lot in solo now, so I like to go. And I've always kind of thought that he's really good as like just a bruiser character. I mean, his kit is perfect for a warrior. He's got a lot of CC. He's got a lot of like base damage, low cooldowns now. His 3 is like a 6-second cooldown or something, 7, something crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty nuts.
So if you just go like a bit tankier on him with a lot of cooldown, you're gonna be able to use your base damage to kind of carry fights. So right now in solo, I just like to go Warrior's Blessing, Warrior Tabi, Breastplate, Blackthorn into Runic Shield. So now we already are really tanky. We have a lot of health with like Blackthorn and Runic. We have a lot of defense with Breastplate and Runic. Runic is like one of the best magical defense items now. They've buffed it a ton. It's really crazy. And it's also got a lot of damage on it. 35 power is really nice. So then at that point in the game, you're already really tanky, but you're going to do a lot of damage. And then I just like to go like more bruiser items from there. Maybe like a Void Shield. It depends on like the enemy team. If they're magical heavy, then maybe I'll just go more magical defense. Just like a Void Shield into like Mantle or something last item. So then you'll be sitting at full CDR late game and be really, really tanky and have a ton of health because Blackthorn is bloated and has 350 health on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It had
speaking of
450
bloated.
before. That maybe, I know we talked about earlier that there hasn't been some things that were like, why? How could you even think that that would be okay? But 450 health on Blackthorn for a little bit there, that was questionable at best.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we were not too happy about that.
Oh, the nerf?
No, it getting so much damn health.
I mean,
I'm
it
like,
was
how am I
newer
ever
assault
going to kill a
mains. It was
solo
the best.
laner now? Like, how do I ever kill one solo laner? I don't. Goodbye. Until I have kin size. Until I have kin size.
Still have kin size.
Then it's like, okay, you bought
Oh.
Blackthorn, you die.
We were playing Assaults the other day, and I'm like, I'm so far out of the meta because it's just making the switch over to PC has been awkward and timing. Like, damn, what do I build? He's like, Blackthorn. Like every character was Blackthorn, Blackthorn, Blackthorn.
Yeah, he's like playing a physical character. What should I build? Blackthorn. You told me that last time. Blackthorn.
Yep.
I mean,
That's how it works, really.
Blackthorn.
Yep.
And it was worse before, but it's still a really good item, so
Yep.
it just rounds
So
out
what do
builds
you-
really well.
Yeah, it really does. So, Thor is definitely a disruptor, and being, in the solo lane now, you're definitely looking to disrupt that backline. I think he's really good at that.
Yeah, the old surprise. I'm here.
Yeah. He just has a lot of CC as well. I mean, he's got 2 stuns in his kit if you can hit your ults weaken, but no.
My bad.
No. Yeah, 2 stuns. And like another thing about, I think, the solo meta right now is like you'll see gods like Thor and Set, and both Thor and Set can get into a fight without using blink, which is, I think, a really big deal. Like Thor can ult in, he can just hammer in and like use his stuns to like peel. But they can just get into the middle of a fight. They can clear lane really easily and then rotate. So like everyone loves Arthur so much right now, but honestly, in like competitive and stuff, like I'd rather be playing Thor because I can. Yeah, Arthur may dominate the lane, but if I can just clear the wave, walk into the jungle and ult to mid lane and like impact a fight right away, it's just really nice. And that's kind of what I was talking about before. Like Thor's one of the gods in the game that can control the entire map by himself. So.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely nice the earlier your solo laner can get into fights, because the earlier your solo laner can get into fights and the later theirs can, that's like a huge advantage swing in your way every fight. And they're always not exactly expecting it, but like fearing it as well. Like, okay, maybe they won't do this now because, well, if we try this, Thor might just ult us again.
Yeah, they have to respect it at
like
least.
Yeah, definitely. So, what do you typically? What's your your basic build path as far as abilities are concerned when you're leveling them up?
I think right now, I think in the jungle. So before, I always max my hammer. Not only because I just think it's like more fun to try and hit double taps and stuff. I think it's like one of the most fun abilities in the game to go for. But I also just thought it was a little bit better for poke, like because you could walk into mid lane, look at their rot, and wall hammer him for like pretty much 70% of his health when you have it maxed out. So I thought that was good before, but in solo lane, if you're playing Thor, you're going to be maxing your 1. There's some things you can do, like if you get really good at Thor solo, you can just skip putting a point into your 2 and just alternate your 1 and your 3 because of the low cooldown on your 3. Like it'll help you like poke really hard, just because it's such a low cooldown. But in jungle, I think a lot of the times now you're going to be maxing your 3 just because it's such a low cooldown and you can just run around to camps and just one-shot them. And it's going to really increase your farm. So solo lane, I maxed my 1. Jungle, I probably maxed my 3 now. But you can never go wrong with just always maxing your 1.
Just bopping them for all of the health.
Yeah, it's just crazy, ridiculous poke.
I remember Thor was one of those gods that like kind of first taught me mechanics versus just like playing a hunter and holding left click and every now and then hitting an ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where Thor had that like, okay, throw, double tap, teleport, auto cancel, like all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was a really cool god to start learning that on.
And to round it out here, the most important question. Favorite Thor skin?
Ooh. Okay, this is
I've
a tough
never
one.
Never even seen that one. What the hell?
This is a tough one because when you ask a pro player about skins, a lot of first of all, some of them are banned. Some of them give you a competitive disadvantage because some of them are louder, some of them do certain things, some of them give you an advantage, and that's why they're banned. Like some of the rat anime skins, like you can't even hear his ult. So when you ask me, usually what it comes down to is which one's just not banned, doesn't give me a disadvantage. Like the Thor heavy metal skin, you can hear that across the map. So even though I like the heavy metal skin, I just can't use it because I don't want to put myself at a disadvantage. So I think my favorite one is probably the recolor, the Andenster one, because Andenster was known for playing that because he used to be the Thor jungle back in the day, the main. And he would use that skin every game. Yeah, Righteous Hammer, the one with the golden hair or whatever. That's probably my favorite. Blood Eagle is a close second. Skin. Blood Eagle is a close second.
I like the Blood Eagle just for the special emote.
Yeah, I like that one.
There's actually a couple skins.
The World Champion one is nice too, but I still think the recolor is the best.
Yeah. There's actually a couple of skins for his list that I've not seen.
You mean the Ragnarok Force X?
No. I've seen that. I've played against it. The Iron Gamer and the OMG. Because the OMG is a team skin, and this is the Iron Gamer one. I don't know where that one came from.
That was
I've never seen OMG or ever I didn't even know. Oh, it was unreleased.
The Iron Gamer one was that's a really old one. I have it, and it's Iron Gamer was I guess they hosted tournaments or something, and might put in a skin for them. And
it doesn't even look bad for an old skin.
Yeah, it's a cool skin. I was gonna say I kind of like that one. There was some controversy with them though. I remember seeing a Reddit post about that skin specifically. Apparently, they hosted tournaments, but they scammed people. And Hi-Res put in a skin for them anyway, and a bunch of people were trying to protest that. So I haven't really been using it for that reason.
Yeah, I've never seen this OMG skin.
Yeah, exactly. So even though it's a kind of cool looking skin, but all the other ones are just they're just too much for me. I think there's one that's like a Minecraft kind of skin or like a pixel skin.
Pixel Hammer.
I don't really like that. And then the Ragnarok one where it's he's like a what is he?
The T5.
Yeah,
it's Gundam.
Yeah, he's Gundam. I don't really like that one because it his mechanics feel different when you use that skin. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel as clean and smooth. So
yeah, it's because the model. It's because the model gets so big. That's the problem with a lot of the T5 skins. Is that the models are so big they take up all of your room.
This Kukulkan one coming out is going to be so weird because he has arms. What the hell?
It's not the first time.
He's supposed to be a snake.
It's not the first. No, he's a. Yeah.
He's all kinds.
He's a noodle.
When I play him, he is a dragon.
He's a noodle.
When he's a doggo.
When I play him, he's a normal snake because I had to switch accounts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, I think I have Breezy Chibi or something from something.
Yeah, that skin's lit.
If I can just give you a moment of silence here as we throw it over to my man, Majin Busha, for sports.
And now the news with Channel 4.
Welcome back to another SPL recap on the Split Push podcast. I am Majin Busha, and today we're going to talk about Spies vs. Renegades on Thursday, as well as United taking on LG, and then Dignitas facing LG, and SK going to take on Pittsburgh Knights for the last 7 weeks. Alright, start from the top. Splice took on the Renegades, as we said, first game on Thursday, and this was a very entertaining set. Splice figured out how to counter on her. They're like, oh, why does nobody pick the Willix? Why has nobody since MSI picked the Willix? And it works. And they threw a horse with it, I believe, and they just locked down the on her. They made it a non-threat, and the on her couldn't do anything. That being Dardus in this game couldn't do anything in the mid game at all. So Splice won game 2 for that. And next game, it's a 21-minute game. Renegades just get pissed off and just smack around. And I didn't get to actually watch game 4, but Renegades win that game 3-1. Spice did take that one game off, which is better than what they did at MSI, and that was with Solo or Troll on the roster instead of Basket. And the next game is United versus LG. Now I'm not going to break down every single game for you because this match was nuts, especially since LG had the roster swap. They got Ionic in support, and they picked up Snoopy from Armada, put him in the mid lane. So you got the Canadian boys with Ionic and Snoopy back on the same roster again, which is sick. Hasn't happened in a few seasons. But these guys, LG, look so much better. So much better. First, the swap to get Lasber in the jungle. You know, then they just dropped Oceans to pick up Snoopy, put him in mid. Snoopy was literally getting bans on set because they don't trust him not to play it in mid. And then you had Joshi, who was the best player on LG, arguably, for the entire first split. So LG looked a lot better, and they actually beat E United 3-2 in this set. And I just, it was so much fun to watch, so much fun to watch. But to move on from LG to another LG, the same LG squad taking on Dignitas, and this was also very, very fun to watch. Now, LG game 1, there was a game-breaking glitch. Player could not reconnect, so they were forced to restart the match. LG had got off to a great lead, showed that they were probably going to win the game, and nope, got to restart it. Nothing happened. So we had to start from fresh. LG lose game 1. And from there on, they did take it to 4 games. Every game was competitive against Dignitas, but they didn't get this. They didn't get this win this time. Dignitas going to take the 3-1 victory, and then we have SK and Pittsburgh Knights. And I'm going to say this: LG might be better than SK right now, just might be, because SK, while they did take a game off Pittsburgh Knights, it just did not look great at all collectively. And I'm not sure what's going on with the squad, but remember last year they were struggling up until this point, and they found something, whatever that was, and made a great run at Worlds to make Worlds and to get to the semifinals. I believe it was a Worlds, it was quarters. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but Pittsburgh Knights coming out, they're doing their thing, picking Osiris almost every game, and they just do the damn thing. So they go to 3-1, SK. All right, a little bit of game breakdown. The shortest game was Splice vs Renegades, game 3, 21 minutes, nearly 22 minutes. The longest game was LG Dignitas in game 3, which is a 57-minute game. Deadliest game, same game, 45 kills. The mildest game, SK Pittsburgh Knights, game 1, a total of 10 kills. Moving on from that, a little bit of God stats going on for picks and bans. The most picked was AMC, 13 picks, 2 bans, and 10 wins. Now let's talk about this real quick before I move on to the next one. AMC got nerfed before the split started, and he's still freaking S+ at this point. He's getting picked 10 times this week across, you know, a part of almost every single game. Like, it's 100% or 90-some%. This is crazy that they nerfed him, and he's still playing so well in whatever role they choose to take him in right now. And Oleron right after, going to be picked 9 times, banned twice. Only had 4 wins, though, so just got to work on that a little bit. Kumbhakarna picked 9 times. We've seen a huge rise out of him. He won 4 games, was banned twice, and then now on to the most bans. Thor was picked 1 time. Didn't win it, but he got banned 10 times. Isis picked 1 time. Didn't win it. Banned 10 times. And then finally Set. 3 times he was picked, won once, and banned 14 times. So Set has really come on strong here as of late. That's it for this week. I will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, my man. Always a good job. Well appreciated. So,
Great job with the sports this week, bud.
high five. And I'm going to throw it over to Guy now, because we actually do have some community questions here for you today. Fine, I almost forgot about them.
Yeah, we got a few little comments. First one we have is from our good friend Hyde Train.
What's up, Hyde?
He says, my question is, can I just be a silent fly on the wall during the podcast? Fineokay.
He's not the first person.
He's not the first one.
No, there's several of those comments.
That's funny.
There's several like, dude, can we just like just put us in? You can mute us and everything, and we just listen.
That's funny.
He's actually a really good solo laner in our league.
Oh, yeah. Really?
So, yeah.
Very, very
I
good,
recognize
actually.
the name. I think maybe maybe he's a subscriber or a viewer of mine.
Could be.
Probably. I would assume so, the way he...
I would say so. The next one we have is from Nader9719. Says, how does he remain both fine and okay while also being the best solo laner in the SPL?
That question has a lot of different possible meanings, but I'm assuming he just means like calm, or maybe just composed.
Maybe he just thinks maybe he thinks the name change should be to fucking great or something, instead of Fineokay. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I kind of just do my thing, focus on myself,
It's like, you're the number one soul laner. Yeah, it's fine. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Gotcha.
The casters have made so many of those jokes.
Yes.
Sure. And we have Riker, who's just got an arrow pointing up saying that's the real question. We have Majin, our sports guy. He says, ask him if I can 1v1 him.
Yo, that'd be lit.
We have SLM Gilly. How does your teammates deal with you and PBM being the trolls you are?
Oh, that's a good question. So what's funny about that is that everyone always sees Mike as like a pretty troll guy. Like if you ever watch our Unrivaled series on YouTube, which shows our comms and stuff, you'll see him mess around a lot. Or if you just know him, like he likes to mess around. But my teammates like to say that I troll more than Mike and that I'm the biggest troll on the team and stuff like that, which I don't know if I believe that, but Mike and I do like to have fun, and like I think it's just really nice to be able to joke around, and even when you're like scrimming good teams, to just be able to laugh and not take it too seriously, because even though it's our job, even though we're competitive and we want to, like, we take it as serious as possible and we want to win at the end of the day, we want to win worlds, like we're playing video games, it's not the most serious thing ever, and it's nice to have fun with it. And I think a lot of times when you're having fun is when you learn the most. So I think my teammates deal with it, at least right now, because we're winning.
Right. It always helps when you're winning.
Yeah, exactly.
The next one we have is from Fro Double G. He says, no questions, just wanted to say I love your content, that one lurker.
Yeah, I recognize that name. Thanks, man.
That's how I watch. If I watch any streams, I'm always a lurker. I just I don't know. I'm
He's
there
too
to watch
shy.
the person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need any chit chat. I'm there to watch and learn.
Yeah, I feel that.
Sometimes I chat so much I forget that I'm even watching the stream.
Guy's a chatty Cathy.
Guy all potty mouth though. You gotta watch him.
Yeah, sometimes I've been known to let him slip. Mr. Neff has a question. He says, solo lane is usually a slapping match between two gods that keeps sustaining back the smacking. I guess. I'm not sure what he's trying to say there. But so what are good tips to tip the scales in your favor and have a leg up against your opponent?
The thing I always recommend is just to get really good at recognizing and playing off of your power spikes, because if it is a slap fight and it's really just a battle of like, if you're equally skilled and it's just a battle of like little things, then the little power spikes that you get and play off of are going to be big deals. So for example, if you force a TP, and you have a TP play over them, which means that you can poke them out back, TP back in, and have maybe an extra item, maybe like an extra tier of an item over them. You have extra pots now because you backed and they couldn't back, stuff like that. If you're able to play off of little things like that, it's going to really help in the long run. And not only that, but play off of not just like build power spikes and like TP power spikes, but power spikes on the map. Like if you're able to strip away a blue buff from them, now you have a blue buff over them, which means you can probably out trade them because they're not going to have the mana sustain. Or maybe your jungler is on your side of the map. You're on your side of the map. That's a power spike for you. That's a opportunity for you to play up. And if they gank you, then you're going to have at least a 2v2. Stuff like that. Just always be looking for those little advantages that you can gain. And a lot of times those will turn into big advantages in the long run, not only in the game, but in your overall gameplay. Because one little TP force, and now that you have control of the lane, is going to allow you to proxy and rotate over to a fight and win that fight and then win the game. Like, it can kind of spiral out of control. So just play off the small things.
All right. Okay, the next one we have is from Mr. Majin again. It's a 3-parter. He says, which solo laner in the Pro League gives you the toughest laning?
Okay. I'd probably have to be Benji. Benji's probably the best laner in, like, full stop. He's probably the best laner in SPL for a while now.
The next one he has is, which solo laner do you love to face the most?
See, it would be the one that's easiest to beat. No,
Ooh, we all say
no.
their names.
I always like facing off against the like known best players. Like, so Deathwalker was considered like the best player for a long time, like the past couple seasons. So I love playing against him because every time I play against him, it's just an opportunity to learn, but also to prove myself and to just have like a competitive game, you know? I really like that. I really enjoy that.
If I had to say, Hyde Train is pretty much the Deathwalker of our league.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I would say. He's just super aggro in your jungle solo laner, like, all the time. He's really good at it, too.
Interesting.
He's really good at it.
I like that. Interesting.
Yeah, I might be facing off against him in a couple of years. Not just kidding.
Maybe.
Better watch it. You know, a lot of these guys are getting their time in. You know, you never know who's going to be up next.
They're doing the reps.
Actually, what are your thoughts on Solo or Troll coming into the league as he did?
Honestly, I thought he was like SPL caliber for a while now. It's weird because I think there's probably a lot of potential players that could do well in the SPL, but it's just about getting your shot. That's how it was with me. Like, I thought I was ready for a long time, and it was just about getting the opportunity, not only to prove yourself as you are in that moment, like how good you are at that state, but just the opportunity to practice, because you learn so much when you practice against really good players. Like, no matter who you are, you're going to learn a lot more practicing against them than you are when you're practicing against, you know, even just equal caliber players as you are, you know. So
right,
when you play against better players that destroy you, you learn a thing every game. So for him specifically, like, you could just tell that like his mechanics and all that were SPL caliber for a while. However, the question is now whether or not, like, at least by Worlds, he can learn enough about like how to play in a professional competitive setting, as far as like team fights, communication, and how to play like from behind and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's always interesting to see where people end up falling when they come in kind of mid-season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's been an interesting season because we've seen a lot of new faces this year also.
Yeah.
A lot of players, a lot of people have not seen yet. So next one we have El from Majin. He has his third question. He says, ever considered calling yourself "Damn, I'm fine, okay," rather than "Fine, okay"?
No. I've never considered that.
Okay, last one we have is from our solo laner, American Zombie.
Oh, jeez.
He says, how meta is Thanatos solo?
Ah.
He says, all the meta is the only acceptable answer.
Oh, okay. There's your answer. No, I'm just kidding. I'd actually say that he's pretty viable. I think, like I talked about before, that I think there's a lot of viable stuff right now in solo. The problem is like Set and Thor kind of run the games. So if those are out of the game and you can survive against like stuff like King Arthur and Osiris, then he's definitely viable. The question is, like, what's the reason you're picking him? Are you just really good at him? Are you picking him into counter matchups? Because Khepri's pretty viable right now, so that's a good matchup for Thanatos. Are you picking him into like gods you can just get easy early kills against? Or are you invading? Like, stuff like that. The question always is, why are you picking him? If it's for counter picks or certain matchups, then heck yeah, like, you can pick him in those scenarios. But I wouldn't say
we
that
definitely
he's so good
like
to
to pick him
game.
for his global engage possibilities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He initiates.
Yeah.
So we'll be like, you know, trying to do stuff in mid, and Merkin will just all of a sudden show up with that ult, and it's like, oh, hi, there's a Thanatos that has executed your mid. Sorry.
Yeah, that's nice. It's kind of like Thor, and just like rotating
Yeah,
over really
exactly.
quickly.
Yeah, it's a similar principle. And that silence is pretty potent too.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, the silence has done a lot for peel and for like just getting into fights too. Yeah. And him having that scythe, I've seen him kill so many squishies from a distance and get his whole health bar back.
Yeah.
He just sets up that burst from my mid so good when he stuns the ults.
You got to be careful of anti-heal and tank killing comps with him, though, because he's pretty easy to kill if they focus him out really hard.
Yeah, he's usually pretty good on staying kind of in group still.
Yeah, that's
not
good.
being too assassin style with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played it. He played it a couple of games now, and
yeah,
it's been working.
It's banned now. It gets banned.
Yeah,
every
it gets
game.
banned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's getting banned in
it's
our
a respect
league.
ban. That's nice. Like I said, if he's really good at it, then it definitely helps the case.
Maybe we'll see a Fineokay Thanatos video coming out
Maybe.
soon.
Maybe.
You know, America's
See,
never gonna
Thanatos.
let us live this down now, right?
It's because we want to
Oh,
play
yeah.
Thanatos all the time now. Oh, this is a situation I could play Thanatos. Okay.
Every situation, he's just going to be like, "Hey, I'm in a solo lane. That means this is a time to play Thanatos."
Yeah. I'm fine
What's
with
your
it.
matchup? I don't know. I'm in solo lane, so Thana works.
Yeah, we have our Thanatos solo and our Artemis support. Imagine how great our team sounds. Our team
Whoa,
sound good
whoa,
right now.
I will never go into our games going, we're doing Artemis support. No.
he will call it, and he will make us all say, "Shut the fuck up." But you love to torture us with that.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Oh, Murican, he loves solo lane. He loves Fineokay. He's in team chat right now. I stayed off
Oh,
Discord
yes.
so I wouldn't be sad. Oh, Murican's so great.
Yeah. That poor guy never played a conquest till our first match.
Really?
Yes.
Nope.
Wow.
And now we're actually winning games and doing pretty good, and he's getting banned out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Proud of
Yeah,
the little
man.
bugger.
I've watched some other people's streams, and they're like, "Watch out for American," and he's one of the better guys on the team, and I'm like, "High five,
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
boy."
Yeah, it was really cool.
Alrighty.
All right. Anybody else got any questions for?
All right. How do you hit everything? Tell me. How do you do it? There's got to be a secret, because, I can't hit... okay, my biggest problem is basics, because people have so many different ways of juking.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would say that just playing, well, first of all, getting really used to your sensitivity and your DPI is really important. Practicing, there's stuff on the internet, aim booster, practicing your aim and stuff like that, playing FPS
Gotcha.
games, stuff like that will help a lot. Also minimizing external factors. So your setup, making sure you have a clean setup, nothing's in the way. For my mouse, I have a mouse bungee, which basically props up the mouse cord so that there's no resistance when it hits my desk or my monitor. And I would suggest getting one of
Gotcha.
those, or getting a wireless mouse so that you don't have to worry about that. Having a clean desk with your mouse pad, nothing's on the mouse pad, so nothing obstructs your mouse, just stuff like that, so nothing ever gets in the way. Little things like that are really important. And just practicing a lot, practicing with your mouse and sensitivity on other games as well. Like I said, I play a lot of Call of Duty, and I still do on PC, and it really helps with my overall setup and being used to my mouse and everything. So I think that helps a lot
Awesome.
when you play other games.
Anyone else got any questions?
Mm-hmm. Nope. I think
Yeah, I've asked mine.
I've asked pretty much all of mine.
Alrighty. That's
Dad,
perfect.
this is where you do the hosty thing?
Well, I was letting you guys, make sure you're all done, fangirl, and all that good stuff,
I mean, I could sit here and fangirl all day, but...
I have a question
Okay.
Go for it.
for each of
There we
you.
go.
For each of you,
All right.
what is your favorite god to play in Solo Lane?
Oh, god damn it.
Hopwash.
Oh, yeah. That makes
Ah,
sense.
Wash.
Yeah, man, it's just fucking bomb, dude. Fire.
In certain
I don't know how-
matchups, it's really fun because you just spam your 3 on an afro, and she has the worst time ever.
But that's just my answer for everything. Hopwash.
Yeah.
He's got 12 stars.
He's
on
played
PlayStation.
Opwatch Jungle.
That sounds fun.
Not that I
It
can play
works.
it competently on PC, but I always love playing me some Chalk in Solo Lane.
Okay. Chalk's a lot better now with his buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I played solo last, I was mainly a jungler, so I played super aggro gods like Baka, Arachne,
Those
stuff
are fun.
like that.
I like those guys.
And
too.
I would just build the Golden Blade Katana start to clear and just kill all the time. But that was on PlayStation when I was mechanically kind of really ahead of everyone else in my elo pool.
I might have to
So-
try that. That sounds like fun. Golden Bladed Baka.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. It is hilarious because you build Golden Blade stone cutting and you don't die for some reason, and you can just eat minions at any time you get too low on health, and a big quarter of your health comes back, and you're like, all right, I can fight again.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Ooh, I played Baron today solo, and I fucking dominated. And
I like Baron solo. Like I've played like 80 million things when I play solo lane. That's a rough one.
Oh, and any god with a pluck is hilarious because level 1 kills to tower are hilarious. Play Hercules, do the 2 blink trick. Okay, you're dead.
Yep. I think my favorite solo
Play
laner
Sobek in the tower.
Yeah, Sobek's fun for it. I think Terra for me.
Terra's fun.
Terra's a good one.
What she can do with like her walls and stuff is really like cool. You can really
she can
have a high skill cap on that guy.
I just think in general, like, she's really good to just sit and farm all game and get super ahead of everyone else because her ult just chunks.
Yeah,
she does so much damage in her kit. Like, her burst potential is higher than a lot of people give it credit for.
Oh yeah.
Right. Ooh, I like Jormungandr also right now in solo.
Okay, big worm, Jorm the worm,
Yeah,
big wormy boy.
fun.
Also, you know who I've been relying on for solo in PC times here is like if I get stuck over there because I'm so used to just right now just working on support. I'm playing Ra. Like, you know what? I'm going to play Ra. I'm going to hug the tower. It'll be boring. I'll feel bad for the other guy. I felt bad for him. And you know what? It was like one of my first couple games. I'm like, I'm playing Ra. It worked out. It was boring. I felt bad for the other guy.
He doesn't have half the gods, so.
Yeah. I don't want to buy this guy just again.
Opwash and Ra.
Yeah, you can see who the trolls on my team are.
That's great.
It's pretty much all of us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you have any other questions for us, Fineokay? I'm not used to kind of the guest.
Right?
Yeah, I feel
like, what?
I'm shocked, honestly. I'm taken aback.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
that works.
Yeah, I'm good. Good.
Ooh, I do have a little announcement. I'm going to HRX this year.
That's right.
Nice.
Me and Guy teaming up.
Yeah, I just got them tickets this week.
Yep, it'll be the Guy and Yuki show representing us.
Boy, we're in fucking trouble.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, shit, should we get rid of the name, change the name, and ditch these two while they're there? Oh, a new podcast sprung up. It's got the same amount of listeners, but two less hosts. Different name, definitely not
How much
us.
trouble could we possibly get into?
Yeah, it's you and Guy. Enough.
Without Dirtnap's dad there, you're
I'm responsible. I'm a responsible adult.
Are you Guy, or are you going to be Guy all potty mouth, huh?
I mean, I'll probably be potty mouth.
Which one's going to show up to our HRX, huh?
Look, I promise I won't steal any cars. All right?
Okay, that's a good start for you.
As long as you're cursing,
I don't do prisons.
As long as you're cheering for me when you're cursing, it's fine.
There you go.
It's fine. I'll just drive a bus into HRX and be like, "What up, boys?" I said no cars.
That's a good question. Are you guys gonna get over that World Championship hump this year, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, hopefully. I haven't played at a Worlds yet, so this will be my first when we play. So,
well, we'll be there screaming for you.
Thank you.
And possibly
it'll be pretty cool to have your first be a win too, huh?
I hope so.
I know our boy Dicey's rooting for you. He's a longtime rival fan.
So
Dicey's going
if you win
nuts.
Worlds, you get to come back on, right?
Yeah, for sure. I will.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Confirmed.
Magic question.
Confirmed.
All right.
That's the last question I ask of Bombs before you won Worlds.
Yeah, so you got it this time. Like, on us.
There you go.
We got you.
He gave me the good luck charm.
Yeah. And if it works, everyone's going to be crawling onto us before Worlds.
You're right.
We'll see how many years we can get away with that, but... Anyway, it is time to wrap things up here. It's been a blast having you on the show, Fineokay. Again, I really, really, really appreciate it. And just want to give you a moment here to shout out wherever you stream, your YouTube channel, all that stuff, and where you twit at and so forth. So feel free to self-promote as you see fit.
All right. First of all, thanks for having me on. It was fun. It was fun talking to you guys and going over everything. I'm just Fineokay on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Everything's just Fineokay. You can find me by just looking up that. And just shout outs to just the Smite community. It's an awesome community and it feels like a family a lot of the time. And shout outs to the SPL, and we play this. We could play this Thursday or Friday against Splice, so be on the lookout for those games. And
that should be a good game.
And shout outs to everyone that's going to be at Worlds. I'll most likely, hopefully, be playing there. Hopefully, be competing and doing our best to win it. So if you're there, feel free to come say hi. I would love to talk to everybody. So yeah.
Cheer on our boy.
That too. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Guy, how can people track you down?
You can find me on Twitter at gsmitey. You can find me everywhere else, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, at Guy All Smitey.
Dan?
You can find me on the official Split Push Podcast Twitter at Split Push Podcast with no A. You can find me on PC at DirtNapDan. No spaces, no X's, no underscores now. You can maybe seldomly find me watching YouTube on the PlayStation at DirtXNapXDan. And that's it for me.
And
I don't have my own Twitter yet. Still coming.
Twitter pleb. You can find me on Twitter, speaking of, at YukiGaming22, on PlayStation at YukiGaming22 for Smite. And PlayStation's a thing that I watch Netflix on.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just thinking the same thing.
One day. And of
One
course,
day, all
you
my
can
money
always,
will
I'm
come
just
back
too
to me.
lazy
Right.
to put it on my Xbox.
And you should be able to find us, there's a podcast, you should be able to find us on iTunes. We're going to try to be better about this part of it, as we do, which means occasionally. But you can definitely find us on iTunes, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I do read them, and I don't care if you're mean to me, because I don't care. I like the punishment. You can also find us on SoundCloud, and most streaming services for podcasts will find us eventually. Google has been on and off. We were up, and then we weren't, and then we were up, and then we weren't. So I'm talking with them if you use the Google Play services.
Alrighty. Leaves good old DirtNap's dad here. Not on the PlayStation anymore, but it's the same as my Twitter, dirt_naps_dad. You can now find me on PC at DirtNap's dad. Simple as that. It is capital I. Looks dumb, but I'm old. And my
It is
bad,
capital
so-
I. That's the most hilarious thing ever.
He finally got to change his name, and he fucked it up.
When somebody pointed out, they're like, "Is that
I
an L
double
or
checked the
I?" I'm
spelling
oh
like
my
3
God.
times, and I'm like, it's good. DirtNap's dad. Yep. Never noticed that I was capital until someone
it's like
pointed it out
Glitz-
to me, and I'm like,
It's like
now I see it.
Glitznat Dad.
Yeah. Well, you know how I am. I like to be difficult. So, make sure you also join us in our Discord where, lots of fun and shenanigans go on. And hey, if you're looking for a group, there's a lot of times we need a fourth or a fifth, to fill in, because it's a lot better to have 5 people going into a conquest than it is anything less than that. And
giveaways and stuff. Don't forget giveaways
yeah.
and stuff.
Oh yeah. Guy's been doing really good with the giveaways. So shout outs to Guy. He's been doing all kinds of new cool things. Who won this week? I know Mr. Krabs won.
Mr. Krabs won.
Dude, I thought that was pretty awesome. He likes a lot of our
Right,
Twitter
right.
stuff, so high five on that.
Then we've been Exilium's giving one away tomorrow during our game.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Well, by the
Sylvanas
time you're
Skid,
listening
try to
to
get
this,
that code.
about 7 hours or prior.
You would have missed it.
Yep, if you're listening
Tune
and
in
only
next
heard it
week's
first
game,
now,
and there'll probably
sorry.
be another one.
Yep. And don't forget to check out our homies out at the Smite Little League. We don't want to forget about them.
Rip.
Oh.
Tune in next week to find
Tune in
out
next week.
what happens there. But for right now, when it comes to dirt naps, you got to give them before you take them. And when all else fails,
Split
push.
push.